Summit of SADC Heads of State and Government Summit, ordinary Summit of SADC Heads of State and Government. And those who are on social media or would like to catch us on social media, we are on ZBC News Online, the Facebook page, the SADC Facebook page,
ordinary SADC Summit, doing this for the first time,
as well as other international TV channels.
the President of the Republic of
Distinguished delegates,
come to the podium and deliver his maiden
I'd now like to call upon to the podium
summit.
our next speaker.
His Excellency
The man I'm just about to call
Ngolo Mbumba
is an icon of the independent struggle of the Republic of Zimbabwe. He's a man who's walked the ropes of leadership from being a member of parliament and cabinet minister in 1980 at independence to being the speaker of parliament to being the vice president to what he is today. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to invite to the podium the incoming chairperson of SADC and the host of the 44th Ordinary SADC Summit of Heads of States and Governments to deliver his welcome remarks. Please put your hands together for His Excellency, Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe.
Excellency, and
the First Lady, Dr. Mnangagwa, Your Majesty, King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency, João Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson, Your Excellency, my dear young brother, Alex, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo and outgoing Chairperson of Your Excellency, Samir Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania and Chairperson of Open on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Your Excellency, Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia and outgoing Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, and the heads of delegations. Your Excellency, Chairperson of the SADC panel of elders, former President, Your Excellencies, First Ladies,
Your Excellency, Dr. Emerson,
the Honorable Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, General Retired Dr. G.N. Twende, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Colonel Retired J.C. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers, Ambassador Frederick Patawa, Honorable Ministers and various political leaders of the Republic of Zimbabwe who are here with us. Your Excellency, Elias Magosi, SADC Executive Secretary, Your Excellency, Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Ambassador Eva Gateka. Your Excellencies, heads of regional economic communities, international organizations who are here. Your Excellencies, members of the diplomatic corps, senior government officials and delegates from SADC member states, members of the media, my fellow SADC citizens, I feel greatly privileged to be addressing you all when I've been accorded the rare and the huge responsibility to take hold of the reins of our revolutionary and transformative regional order. On behalf of the government and people of our country, allow me to officially welcome you, Your Majesty, and my dear colleagues, Excellencies, heads of state and government, as well as your esteemed delegations to the Republic of Zimbabwe. I trust that you have found available facilities, perhaps the people of Zimbabwe count it an honor hosting this 44th ordinary summit. And we treasure your gathering here in the land of the great emperor. On their behalf, I'm grateful for the opportunity. Personally, thank you all for the many years of your unwavering solidarity, support, and unbreakable fraternal relations with the public and the people. This has been against the continuing heinous sanctions imposed on our motherland, Zimbabwe, by some Western. We are aware that various forms of unjust pressure may have been exerted on you over the years to abandon us. Yet you have remained resolute in the true spirit of our liberation wartime mantra that an injury to one is an injury to all.
Fostering economic growth and addressing regional challenges,
The clarity, solidarity, and unity which the SADC region always demonstrates on Zimbabwe, as with other critical peace, security, and climate change disasters in our region, epitomizes Pan-African spirit envisaged by our founding fathers. As the people of Zimbabwe, they will once again say, thank you, for bearing with us burdens imposed by the last 24 years of illegal sanctions imposed on our country because we defend our land.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen,
Today also marks the SADC Day anniversary.
National Assembly
We commemorate the signing of the SADC Declaration and the Treaty in 1992 at the Summit of Heads of State and Government that was held in the Republic of Zimbabwe. The historic birth of SADC ushered an era of marked transformation in the region, from a past characterized by segregation and the brutal racial oppression present, where we enjoy peace, unity, and prosperity in our respective countries. Indeed, since its inception, SADC has enabled integration and has improved the quality of life of our peoples. The government and people of Zimbabwe are humbled to join you, Your Excellency, and your esteemed delegation in celebrating these milestones. United we stand, and united we continue to march forward towards a more prosperous future for our great region, SADC. I invite you all
Collective effort and strong political will for us to ensure that peace comes to the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Let me extend our sincere condolences to the government whose brave sons and daughters have sacrificed
well the wonders, the opportunities. You know that's true.
in the SADC region in Mozambique.
Feel at home away from home. God bless you all. I thank you.
And the SADC movement in the Democratic Republic of Congo. They lost their lives in support of the noble efforts.
Once more, another round of applause for the incoming SADC chairman,
And instability in our two systems.
Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, ED.
And all member states for providing resources and material
Thank you.
in support of Summit objectives.
Before we move on to the next speaker,
This collective effort
Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished
in Cabo Delgado has
delegates,
normalized.
allow me to announce the arrival and also introduce the President of Mozambique,
Places of origin.
Mr. Felipe Jacinto Nyusi.
Let me
Thank you, Your Excellency. At this juncture, I'd like to invite to the podium the Under-Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa to make a statement. Please welcome His Excellency Clever Gatete.
as we collectively seek to improve the lives of our peoples and set the future of our region on a trajectory of democracy, peace, and stable development.
Thank you very much, ED.
Basic document.
Your Excellency, Your Majesty King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency Mr. Joy Lorenzo, President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of Southern African Development Community, Your Excellency Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and incoming Chair of SADC, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government present here, all protocols observed, Mr. Elias Magosi, Executive Secretary of the Southern African Development Community, honorable ministers here present, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to address the 44th SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government on the theme of promoting innovation to unlock opportunities for sustained economic growth and development towards an industrialized SADC. I want to start by conveying my gratitude to the government of Zimbabwe for the generous hospitality as the host of this August event here in Harare. I also wish to thank the heads of state and SADC for this opportunity to deliver my inaugural address in my capacity as the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, we are meeting at a time when our continent is facing major challenges, especially financing, security, soaring debt crisis, and climate change. Sovereign debt in Africa currently stands at over 1 trillion US dollars, causing severe fiscal stress with more than 1 in 3 countries in or at high risk of debt distress. This is also happening when long-term concessional finance, official development assistance, and foreign direct investments are declining. In addition, climate change is eroding 5% of GDP on average on an annual basis. Actually, last year for Mozambique, it cost them 15% of their GDP. These impacts are quite evident in the SADC region. That's why we're working on an African position on the reform of the global financial architecture so that Africa's needs are taken into account at the next month's Summit of the Future and the 4th Financing for Development Conference that will take place next year in Spain. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, there are no clear solutions. We have no choice but to look inward for homegrown solutions, including domestic resource mobilization and innovative financing for climate to sustain our development. And SADC can be a leader on this imperative. The region is home to most of the world's gold, copper, cobalt, lithium, chromium, graphite, platinum, and possesses significant livestock and agriculture endowments. 4 key areas offer SADC innovative and scalable solutions. One of them is the development of the regional value chains, and this is possible in the whole of SADC region. Regional agglomeration remains a ticket to sustainable industrialization because fragmented approaches will not generate the jobs we need, nor will it reduce poverty and inequality. Indeed, following our recent visits to Botswana, Namibia, and Ethiopia to study the beef and leather value chains, we have concluded that all of SADC offers enormous potential to increase export markets within these sectors. That's why we partnered with the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, BADEA, who have now approved grant financing for a feasibility study in the beef sector for Botswana that will be conducted by ECA, working closely with SADC Secretariat and partners. This will be replicated to other SADC member countries. We also plan to do similar work for the leather sector. In tandem is the energy regional value chain. We must approach energy solutions from a regional perspective to have significant impact. For example, SADC is using only 1% of the solar and wind energy potential. This means that SADC can be a continental energy provider with the development of this value chain alone. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, the second area of opportunity is food security. There is no reason why Africa should import food to the tune of over 120 billion US dollars per year when SADC can be Africa's bread basket. This is also why we are embarking on the establishment of the Zambia-Zimbabwe Common Agro-Industrial Park, again working with BADEA, who have also approved grant financing for a study to move forward with this initiative. I'm glad that the president of BADEA himself is here in the room with us. Thank you very much. This is not just critical for SADC, but for the whole of the African continent. Thirdly is the minerals development. Our critical minerals can deliver fair and inclusive prosperity. Our fundamentals for the agenda are stronger than anywhere else in the world. But our window of opportunity is closing. We are using our study on the DRC Zambia Electric Battery Initiative as a proof of concept that we can and should drive mineral beneficiation. And we are working on a roadmap to translate this into a reality that will allow expansion to other minerals such as diamonds. Finally, we must leverage technology. Our work with Botswana on the global small-scale farm shows the benefits of using smart agriculture technologies for climate change adaptation. With the right investments, we can scale up innovations like this, and not just in the agriculture sector, but in health, education, finance, transport, and many more others. ECA is now developing a platform that showcases innovations across the continent, which can be accessed by all countries. This was one of the requests by member states at our last conference of finance ministers in March this year in the beautiful Victoria Falls. This year's conference of ministers of finance, planning, economic development, and governors of the central bank is chaired by the finance minister of Zimbabwe. These, notwithstanding, significant investments and critical infrastructure development is needed to unlock these opportunities. Governments alone cannot do this. The private sector can play its part with the right incentives and the de-risking mechanism. For us at ECA, we are working closely with the African Development Bank and regional partners to enhance the de-risking mechanisms that promote successful public-private sector partnerships. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, let me emphasize that the impetus for rapid industrialization is not simply a question of convenience. It's a matter of absolute necessity. Homegrown solutions can help us address today's complex challenges. We are here because we believe we can do it. I'm convinced that each of the SADC member countries can be a cluster leader of innovation and breakthroughs, and ECA stands ready to partner with you on this journey. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to the Under-Secretary General and the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, His Excellency Clever Gatete. Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished heads of state and government, honorable vice presidents, first ladies, honorable ministers, ambassadors, distinguished delegates to this opening session. His Excellency Clever Gatete just spoke about the opportunities that are available for SADC to catapult itself to a global economic bloc. I was just reminded of some kind of competition that took place last year. Some British scientists had just dug about 10 meters. They discovered traces of copper, and they made a conclusion that some 200 years ago, their ancestors already had a telephone network. And then not to be outdone by the British, the Americans were also doing their own digging. They dug about 20 meters into the ground. They also discovered the traces of copper. So they then published in one of their journals that in fact, the American ancestors had telephone network more than 250 years, 50 years earlier than the British. So there was a group of SADC citizens who also couldn't be outdone by the British and the Americans. They put themselves together, went around the SADC, and they were digging, and they were digging, and they were digging. They dug up to 100 meters. They didn't find any traces of copper, and they made a remarkable conclusion, and it was published in one of the Cape Town journals, that in fact, more than 300 years ago, our ancestors already had a wireless network. So we do have a very good foundation to start from. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to move on with the program. And just to remind those that are watching, we are live from the new Parliament building in Mount Abden, the capital city of Zimbabwe, the host of this year's SADC Summit. It is tradition within SADC that a new president within the family must come forward and address the summit. So we do have a new president in our midst, and I'd like to invite him to take to the podium and address the 44th Ordinary SADC Summit, doing this for the first time. Distinguished delegates, allow me to invite the President of the Republic of Namibia to come to the podium and deliver his maiden statement to the 44th Ordinary SADC Summit. His Excellency Nangolo Mbumba, please proceed to that one that is reserved for distinguished delegates like yourself. Another round of applause is the President of Namibia, His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, walks to the podium. I thank you.
Your Majesty, King Swati III, the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency Dr. Emerson Mabuzo Nangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, incoming Chairperson of SADC, and the host of the 44th SADC Summit of Head of State and Government. Your Excellency Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Tshilombo, President of the Republic of Democratic Republic, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and outgoing Chairperson of SADC. Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, and Chairperson of SADC Organ on Politics, Defense, and Security Cooperation. Your Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, and incoming Chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense, and Security Cooperation. Your Excellencies, SADC Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency General Chiwenga, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Your Excellency Colonel Mahodi, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Your Excellency Mr. Elias Nahotsi, the Executive Secretary of SADC, Your Excellency Ambassadors and High Commissioners and members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of the medias, our gracious First Ladies, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor and privilege for me to participate In the 44th Ordinary Summit of Head of State and Government and the Organ Troika Summit of the Southern African Development Community, convening under the theme, and I quote, promoting innovation to unlock opportunities for sustainable economic growth and development towards an industrialized SADC, end of quote. Allow me to express my deepest gratitude to Your Excellency, Dr. Emerson Tabuzo Nagagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, on your assumption of the chairmanship of SADC. I am confident that under your able leadership, we will witness the continuation of the collective efforts and progress that we all aspire to see in the SADC region. Your Excellencies, I assume, Your Excellencies, I assume the office of President of the Republic of Namibia on the 4th of February this year, in the wake of one of the most challenging and harrowing moments in the history of post-independence Namibia, following the passing on of His Excellency Dr. Hage Godfrey Geingob, our late president. The legacy of President Geingob is marked by his unwavering commitment to regional integration, peace, and economic development. The Namibians are grateful for the solidarity and support Your Excellencies and the fraternal people of your respective countries extended to the Namibian people during that difficult period. We will never forget your warm display of solidarity during our moment of need and sorrow. While on this sad subject matter of bereavement and loss, allow me to convey our heartfelt condolences to the government and people of the Republic of Malawi following the tragic death of on the 10th of June this year of the Right Honorable Dr. Saulos Chilima, Vice President of the Republic of Malawi. Similarly, I would like also to convey our sincere condolences to the government and people of the United Republic of Tanzania on the passing of His Excellency Mzee Ali Hassan Mwinyi, the second president of the United Republic of Tanzania, on February 29, 2024. We salute these departed souls of Africa for their steadfast leadership and admirable service to their countries and to SADC region at large. Your Excellencies, as President of the Republic of Namibia, I shall continue where my predecessors left off by remaining committed to the goals and principles of our regional organization and the aspirations of our people. Furthermore, I will tirelessly endeavor to play my part in ensuring that their dreams and hopes for a better future will materialize into a region characterized by peace, unity, and economic prosperity. I join you in discharging this cardinal responsibility of contributing to the advancement of initiatives and programs aimed at fostering economic growth and addressing regional challenges for betterment of the living conditions of our people. In the interest of advancing our developmental goals in the midst of continuous challenges this year, The Republic of Namibia is co-facilitating, alongside with the Federal Republic of Germany, the Summit of the Future during the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Namibia has taken on this important role as a representative for the Global South. I can assure you that Namibia has accepted this task with utmost dedication and willingness to add our collective voice to that, so that we inclusively build a better world for the current and for the future generations. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Namibia is scheduled to hold presidential and National Assembly elections on the 27th of November this year. I am pleased to inform the summit that SADC Electoral Advisory Council has just concluded its goodwill mission in the Republic of Namibia, a nation that has enjoyed more than 34 years of peace and stability. We remain committed to the SADC principles and guidelines for democratic elections, and we respect their findings and will pay attention to their advice and recommendations. Your Excellencies, I wish to reiterate that the objectives of the Regional Strategic Indicative Development Plan 2020-2050 cannot be achieved if the fundamental pillars of peace, security, and good governance is compromised. Our region is still faced with persistent security challenges in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, following the resurgence of conflict and activities of armed groups, including the M23. This is a source of great concern for the region, as it poses a potential threat for the regional peace and security. It therefore requires a collective effort and strong political will for us to ensure that peace comes to the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Let me extend our sincere condolences to the government whose brave sons and daughters have sacrificed their lives while deployed in the SADC mission in Mozambique, Summit, and the democratic mission and the SADC mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. They lost their lives in support of the noble efforts of the government of the Republic of Mozambique and the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo to combat violent conflict and instability in our two sister republics. I commend all member states for providing resources and materials in support of SAMIM objective. Due to these collective efforts, the situation in Cabo Delgado has normalized, and the displaced persons are returning to their places of origin. In conclusion, let me express my gratitude to our Executive Secretary of SADC, Mr. Elias Pedi Ahosi, and the Secretariat for their commitment to serve our organization and the people of our region. I wish as well all fruitful deliberation as we collectively seek to improve the lives of our peoples and set the future of our region on a trajectory of democracy, peace, and stable development. Asante sana. May Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. And I thank everybody else.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, Your Excellency. At this point, we are now going to witness the winners of the SADC Media Awards competition, essay competition, secondary school essay competition, and SADC tertiary institution essay competition. These are among our activities aimed at enhancing awareness of SADC. So I will begin with the winners of the secondary school essay competition who were writing on the theme, on the topic, how can human and financial capital drive industrial development in the SADC region? This was in line with the 43rd SADC Summit theme. So for the third prize, the winner is Lompo Mokena from the Kingdom of Lesotho. In the second position, we have Ms. Emilia Kabungo Santa from the Republic of Zambia. The first prize goes to Mr. Lekoko David Santi from the Kingdom of Lesotho. Then we now move on to the winners for the 2024 SADC Tertiary School, Tertiary Institution Essay Competition. Again, in the third position, we have Mr. Ntwaki Susan from the second position, again, Lesotho. And the first position goes to Republic of Malawi, Mr. Daniel Kawonga. We move on to the 2024 Media Awards winners. I'll start with the television category. In the second position, we have Mr. Enani Korea, Republic of Angola. First position in television, we have Mr. Leswana Moeti from the Kingdom of Lesotho again. Print category, in the second position, we have Mr. Joseph Banda, Republic of Zambia. The first position, print category, we have Ms. Deborah Musanyare Matavu, Republic of Zimbabwe. Photo category, first prize, Republic of South Africa, Ms. Sipile Nectar Marakara. First position in the photo category, Republic of Zimbabwe, Mr. Hunda Hudakwashu. Radio category, second prize, Republic of South Africa, Mr. Benjamin Moshatama. And the first prize, radio, last but not the least, again, Kingdom of Lesotho. Mr. Leswama Moeti. We would like to congratulate the winners of this competition. Thank you. my co-host, Edie, to come and Wanzira to come and announce the next item.
Thank you very much to Barbara Lopi, all the way from Zambia, and working for the SADC Secretariat in Botswana. I'm very proud to be a citizen of SADC, to be associated with Lesotho. Especially after they scooped a lot of prizes. Please give the winners another round of applause. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to invite the current SADC chairman, His Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola, to deliver his statement. And soon after his statement, we will witness the handover of the chairmanship to His Excellency President Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe. Please put your hands together for the SADC chairman, His Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço of Angola.
Sua Excelência,
Your Excellency Emerson Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and incoming chairperson of SADC and the host of the 44th Heads of State and Government. Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia and chairperson of SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Your Majesty King Swati III, Your Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania and incoming chair of SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Your Excellency Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Chilombo, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo and outgoing chairperson of SADC. Your Excellency Nangolo Mbumba, President of the Republic of Namibia and outgoing chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. Your Excellency, heads of states and governments of SADC and their representatives. Your Excellency Kwaba Gadet, Executive Secretary of UNECA. Your Excellency Akimwini Adesina, Chairperson, President of the Africa Development Bank. Your Excellency Frederick Chava, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe and Chairperson of SADC Council of Ministers. Your Excellency Elias Mahosi, Executive Secretary of SADC, distinguished members of the diplomatic corps accredited in Zimbabwe, ladies and gentlemen, it is a distinguished honor as chair of SADC that I take the floor to address you at this 44th time that the highest authorities of SADC meet to reflect on the objectives and targets set out by the community with regards to the achievements achieved last year and the opportunities we have, as well as the challenges that we have to surmount as a collective. I would like to profoundly thank President Emerson Mnangagwa and the people of the Republic of Zimbabwe for having agreed to host this important summit and for the warm welcome and exceptional hospitality that has been accorded to all delegations ever since our arrival to this beautiful country. I would like to take this opportunity to officially welcome His Excellency Nangolo Mbumba, who is attending this summit for the first time as President of the Republic of Namibia. I would like to reiterate on behalf of all heads of state of SADC our congratulations to Your Excellency and to the people of the Republic of Namibia who have, in a very exemplary way, has carried out the transfer of power in your country after the sad passing of our late friend and companion Hage Geingob. We will continue working together with the same spirit as usual to face current and future challenges of our organization, hoping to together build a prosperous future for all SADC citizens. Allow me to say as well that last year we have seen a number of unfortunate events, like the passing of the former president of Namibia, as well as other notable people who have contributed, who have tenaciously fought for a better future of our region. I would like to welcome or to invite everyone to stand up for a minute of silence as a homage to the leaders and the brave soldiers who have departed. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's been exactly 1 year that the Republic of Angola took the chairmanship of SADC with the commitment of proceeding with the industrialization agenda that has started on the 44th Summit of SADC held here in Zimbabwe when the organization took the bold decision of placing industrialization at the center of its regional integration agenda, and with the drafting of the strategy and roadmap for SADC industrialization. To spur on this agenda, the summit adopted the theme human capital, key drivers towards sustainable industrialization of SADC region. Since one of our major objectives is the skills that allow for access to jobs, and allow for our region to be ready for the challenges of the fourth industrial revolution. In applying this theme, we have worked with the Secretariat in order to support member states in promoting and developing value chains that are key for production and processing of agriculture, pharmaceutical, mining products to strengthen and maximize regional benefits. Based on this, I welcome the fact that under the next leadership of the Republic of Zimbabwe, we will still count on the dynamic nature of this country to push this industrialization agenda so that we can consolidate the gains that we've had so far with the adoption of this theme of promoting innovation to unlock opportunities for sustainable economic growth and development towards industrialized SADC. With this theme, I am absolutely sure that our region will take advantage of science, technology, and innovation to spur on industrialization as a key driver for socioeconomic transformation, which will be seen in this southern area, southern part of Africa. Since human resources are key for the development of these value chains and for an industrialization, sustainable industrialization, our region has had some significant progress in operationalizing the SADC University in order to develop and maintain human capital to meet the technical and technological needs of our efforts aimed at industrialization. On the other hand, I would like to state that currently our region has a deficit in terms of infrastructure financing, so well over 30 billion US dollars. So we need to proceed as fast as possible in operationalizing the Regional Development Fund, which was one of the major objectives of the chairmanship that is ending today in order to support industrial development, social and human development, as well as the development of infrastructure, uh, so that we can sustain the development of our region. I would like to take advantage of this opportunity to appeal to the private sector, uh, financing institution, and ICTs to join us and support with resources the implementation of some of our regional projects that are key and cover strategic areas which are in the regional indicative development plan for 2020 to 2030. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, under the development to support regional integration during my chairmanship that ends today, our region has seen considerable progress in the energy, transport, water resource, shared water resource, uh, ICC, and weather. Based on this, I think it is important to state that SADC region currently has 86% of mobile network coverage, which is very close to the 95% objective for 2030. The internet coverage is estimated at 54%, meaning more than half of our population has access to this form of communication. All this is as a result of the dynamic collaboration between member states who have organized themselves to invest in digital infrastructure and reduce service costs in these areas and promoting digital literacy. With regards to energy resources, uh, it is important to ensure in our region access to energy at reasonable prices so we can spur the industrialization and create more opportunities in the region. A population with access to electricity, the population with access to electricity uh, was way below the levels that have been set as objectives. In some member states, it was possible to get to 100% access, but there are others where we had, unfortunately, less than 20%. It is important to highlight that the power generation capacity in most member states of our region uh, does not meet the needs since 2008, except Angola, Mozambique, Tanzania, where in April 2024 uh, there was a surplus of energy when compared to the current consumption of energy in these countries. Access to this surplus has not been possible due to the low expansion of transmission networks and lack of interconnectors for all that can connect all member states of the region. Taking into account the low access to these resources, to this resource, which is energy, our region needs to continue investing in energy infrastructure to increase production, uh, transmission and diversification of energy sources, and adopt sustainable practices that are crucial for a proper supply of energy, promote economic development, and build a more prosperous SADC region. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot talk about uh, an integrated region without free movement of people in the region. By so doing, through our borders, we can promote economic development, social development, and cultural exchanges. And it's based on this fact that I noted that last year we have had so many efforts to improve the free movement of goods and people in our region. Some member states have introduced visa exemptions, and others have abolished visa requirement for all member states in SADC. It is heartwarming to know that we are taking firm steps to remove barriers and restrictions to the free movement of people and goods. We have to highlight the cooperation between all member states of SADC with regards to the creation of one-stop border posts in order to simplify and facilitate the movement amongst us. A number of such posts have been created in borders between Zambia and Zimbabwe, Botswana and Zambia, Malawi, Zambia, Tanzania, and Zambia. And all together, this helps in creating the necessary conditions to ease the movement of people, interregional trade, and a number of other factors which are important for development, and of which I'd like to highlight the cost of transport in our area. And under these efforts, we also have the Lubito Corridor, which is an important infrastructure in Angola, which will allow to link the DRC, Zambia, to the Atlantic Ocean, through which they'll be able to send of raw materials, goods, and services in a way that would encourage competition. And this facility will create dynamics that would stimulate regional economic growth, not only for the countries that are linked to it, but also for other countries that are part of SADC. I would like to add to these factors that I've mentioned. There's also tourism, which has slowed down significantly during the COVID-19 period, which has since then been increasing exponentially, taking its place as an important contributor to economic growth and GDP. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our region faces major challenges, which are complex, and they require from us effort and special attention to face the diseases and natural disasters that scourged Southern Africa. It is good to highlight the efforts of member states, and they do so in a determined way to reduce the number of cases of HIV/AIDS, and we have had a number of results which are heartwarming, as we have increase in the number of new infections between 2010 and 2022. These results deserve our applause, but we need to continue working on sensitizing the youth so as to take on behavior that keeps them safe and thereby avoid the spread of the disease. In February, I hosted an extraordinary summit of heads of state and government on the cholera situation in the region, and together we took measures to contain its spread and ensure the health and well-being of our populations. Based on these decisions, it was possible to contain the spread of cholera and support people in communities that have been affected by this disease. His Excellency Hakainde Chilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, has successfully led the fight against cholera in SADC region as a regional champion against cholera. Our heartfelt thanks for these efforts. With regards to health, I'd like to also highlight the fact that we also had success that's noteworthy in the fight against malaria, and the incidence rate has reduced significantly. During this year, when I was at the helm of our organization, we had to deal with a number of other situations that required collective action. And we've held a virtual May in the virtual summit in May on natural disasters, which implies prioritizing infrastructure and reduce the vulnerability of our people, the people in our region. At this summit, in which we touched on drought, floods resulting from El Nino, we launched a regional humanitarian appeal to SADC aimed at mobilizing at least 5.5 billion US dollars to complement the national resources of affected member states. I'd like to say that the amounts mobilized so far are unfortunately well below the estimated uh, amounts, and I would like to therefore reiterate this appeal to regional and international partners, to the private sector and member states to redouble their efforts so that we can achieve the amounts that we need and provide help to uh, our people who are affected by El Nino phenomenon. We have received from experts of our region some information of possible new occurrences in the coming years of drought, cyclones, landslides, wildfires, and the rise of sea level as a result of climate change and a number of other factors. Um, in order to protect ourselves against such situations, last year uh, the SADC Humanitarian Operations Center has been operationalized, which will help in coordinating the preparation, response, and rapid recovery from uh, disasters, and the support that will be given to affected member states that are affected by natural disasters. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the issues of peace and security of our region are still at the center of our attention and are part of the priority issues of SADC, and we have made all necessary effort to maintain a climate of peace and tranquility in Southern Africa, which prevails, although we have some conflict in Eastern DRC, which is a challenge that we are trying to address, and we have good prospects on it, taking into account the understandings that the agreements that have been reached in this region between the DRC and Rwanda from the 8th of August will work towards the negotiation and signing of a definitive peace agreement. The Republic of Angola, as a mediator, has submitted to Rwanda and the DRC a draft peace agreement, which is being reviewed by the two countries, and it will be discussed and negotiated between ministerial delegations of the Republic of the DRC and Rwanda as from the 20th August 2024 in Luanda. We would like to highlight the role of the chair of the organ has played in order to carry out this mission, the SADC mission in DRC, in order to have a positive contribution to the creation of an environment that allows for mitigating the conflict factors. There's also the situation of security situation in Cabo Delgado province in Mozambique, in which on the 4th July this year, the SADC mission has come to an end, and this mission has played an important role in helping Mozambique in facing terrorism and extremist violence, violent extremism, and we have been able to address the issue. At the end of the mission in Mozambique does not is not the end of our commitment to continue supporting the efforts of this sister country aimed at having peace, which is necessary for the progress of the country in this globalized world. SADC pays attention to peace and security issues throughout the world, without which all efforts to ensure food security will be compromised. It is therefore urgent to end the war in Sudan, given the serious consequences on the lives of people who are facing one of the worst humanitarian catastrophes. There is the destruction of infrastructure in the country, and given its location and the size of the country, it is a major threat to the countries of the Great Lakes in the Eastern Bloc. Peace has to be negotiated with all parties in that conflict in order to address the current situation and afford the country an opportunity to reconstruct, to rebuild, and ensure the return of displaced uh, persons to come and develop their economy. We also defend the end to the war in Ukraine through negotiations that respect the principles of independence and sovereignty of of countries, as per the international law and the UN Charter, having condemned the attacks on the 7th October 2023 against Israeli citizens. We also condemn the genocide that the country is witnessing in the Gaza Strip against the Palestinians, and the main victims are women, children, hospitalized persons. There's a need to negotiate peace, to end the war, free Israeli hosts, hostages, and Palestinian prisoners, as as per the terms set out by the UN, to end this conflict, which drags on for years since the 50s. That was last century. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take opportunity of this opportunity um, to underline the role of SADC in building the basis for regional integration. there's been efforts to promote socioeconomic development of all its 16 member states. Having been given the honor of chairing SADC over 12 months, I've been able to see the efforts that we have we've been applying to improve the situation in all member states and in the lives of its people. All results that have been achieved are based on the selfless work of the Secretariat led by His Excellency Mr. Makosi, who have not spared efforts in supporting tirelessly my chairmanship that I've exercised up until now. It is now I'm now coming to the end of this term, and I am sure that the decisions from this summit, the 44th, will strengthen our collective action to surmount obstacles and face challenges we have in future to bring about a better future for our region as we want it to be industrialized, peaceful, inclusive, competitive, and of middle high income, in which all citizens have an economic well being, justice, and freedom as we set out in the 2030 SADC vision. It is now my honor and privilege to transfer the chairmanship, to hand over the chairmanship to my brother Emerson Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, who surely will apply all his knowledge in a committed manner in promoting initiatives that will help in accelerating our efforts for a deeper regional integration, sustainable development, peace, and security. Allow me, Your Excellencies, to invite His Excellency Emerson Dabuzu Mnangagwa, the new chairperson of SADC, to come for the official handover ceremony. Thank you very much to everyone.
We request their excellencies to just come in the center. We're now going to witness the handing over of the chair from the Republic of Angola to the Republic of Zimbabwe. And the chairperson, Republic of Angola, His Excellency, Mr. Joao Manuel Gonçalves Lorenzo, is going to give the chairpersonship pin to His Excellency Dr. Emerson Mnangagwa. The pin is engraved with his name and his title as chairperson of SADC. In addition to the pin, he's also going to hand over the gavel. The Republic of Angola is handing over the gavel, which is one of the instruments of power which we use to make decisions. May I ask President Mnangagwa to just show the audience that indeed he has received the gavel? Thank you. Thank you. Before we invite the new chairperson of SADC to address us, may I request the audience to just give us 2 rounds of applause, one for Angola to thank them, and another for the Republic of Zimbabwe.
Beautiful. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. It's a deserved round of applause. We just witnessed a smooth handover of power. Let me, at this juncture, distinguished delegates, Your Majesty, distinguished heads of state and government, our honorable vice presidents, our first ladies, Speaker of Parliament, President of the Senate, President of the Pan-African Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and all esteemed delegates. Allow me at this juncture to now invite the newly minted Chairman of SADC, His Excellency, His Excellency, President Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, to make his acceptance speech.
The First Lady, my Dr. Mnangagwa, Your Majesty, King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Your Excellency João Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola and outgoing Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency Samia Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania and the Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, Your Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia and outgoing Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, and the heads of delegations, Your Excellency, Chairperson of the SADC Panel of Elders, former President Kaya Gwete, Your Excellencies, First Ladies here present, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable General Retired Dr. C. Gideon Chiwenga, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Colonel Retired SCD Mahadi, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Trade, and Chairperson of the SADC Council of Ministers, Ambassador Frederick Madawa, Honorable Ministers and various political leaders of Zimbabwe, Your Excellency, my dear brother, Elias Magosi, SADC Executive Secretary, Your Excellency, Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Ambassador Deva Gatete, Your Excellencies, heads of regional economic communities and international organizations who are here. Your Excellencies, members of the diplomatic corps, senior officials and delegates from SADC member states, distinguished guests, members of the media, fellow SADC citizens, may I express my profound appreciation to His Excellency Joao Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola, for the astute and visionary leadership in steering our organization as chairperson of SADC during the past year. We heartily congratulate, commend him for ably navigating the various challenges we face and for ensuring that the integration agenda of our region remains on course. On behalf of the people and government of Zimbabwe, I take over the mantle of chairmanship as chairperson of SADC with humility and grace. I look forward, Your Excellencies, to your invaluable support and drawing from your vast experiences and counsel as we advance our regional agenda for the benefit of our SADC citizens. Allow me to also acknowledge the dedication and leadership demonstrated by His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, in his capacity as chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. The organ remains a critical core in nurturing unity, constitutionalism, democracy, and the rule of law, as well as peace and security, in line with the founding values, ethos, and principles of SADC. Similarly, I congratulate His Excellency Samia Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, for her assumption of the stewardship over the organ of politics, defense, and cooperation. Rest assured of my full support, my dear friends. Your Majesty, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this year's theme, promoting innovation to unlock opportunities for sustainable economic growth and development towards an industrialized SADC and abroad, brings before the role of innovation in sustained economic transformation and development. It is a clarion call for our respective countries to leverage the region's human capital to spur technology and innovation that will leapfrog the modernization and industrialization of SADC towards a higher quality of life of our citizens. To this end, it has become critically important and urgent to harness the potential of innovation to produce goods and services through value addition and the beneficiation of our rich mineral and related natural resources. Peoples of the region fought for our liberation, freedom, and independence, as well as the economic value of our land and that which is under it. The time is now we must realize maximum value of our God-given rich natural endowments. The importance of developing innovative strategies across all sectors of our economies to accelerate the realization of our collective development agenda cannot be overemphasized. This is more so as the fourth industrial revolution continues to impact and transform the way we operate and execute our work. Our SADC bloc cannot afford to fall behind in the new and the fast-changing frontier of science, technology, and innovation. These aspects are prerequisites for increased productivity and indeed the bedrock upon which other parts of the world industrialized countries develop from. Let us therefore match our aspirations set out in the SADC industrialization strategy and roadmap 2015-2063 with concrete and real actions. It is pleasing that the successful SADC Industrialization and Investment Forum provided a public-private engagement platform where participants discussed and shared innovative approaches. The seventh SADC public lecture also helped raise public awareness on the critical role of innovation in promoting and deepening SADC regional integration efforts. Stakeholders across the region are exhorted to scale up people-to-people and business-to-business exchanges for enhanced synergies and collaboration. Our institutions of higher learning, the academia, scientists, and innovators must equally strengthen linkages to further drive innovation, modernization, and industrialization of our region. In the case of Zimbabwe, we have set up several innovation hubs at all our state universities and related institutions of higher learning. These have achieved remarkable success in developing a sense of self-belief, skills, and competencies. Further, initiatives under the programs have transformed livelihoods, communities, and the economy as a whole through the production of appropriate goods and services. The need to ensure that our youth and entrepreneurs, including women, fully embrace the technology and innovation revolution should be one of our key priorities. Through purposeful collaboration in the ICT sector, we can advance our collective interests as a region, including closing the digital divide. As the current crop of leaders, we have a way to facilitate a conducive environment for our citizenry to thrive and do their part for the realization of the modern industrialized service called no one and no country is left behind. Your Majesty, Excellencies, and distinguished guests, democracy, independence, and freedom being enjoyed by the peoples of the region have paid tribute, tears, and the blood of yesteryear heroes and heroines, as well as sons and daughters of SADC. We have a sacred duty to honor them all by jealously guarding and defending our sovereignty and the right to economic self-determination. We are a proud Southern African people with a rich history and a vital future. Let us never sacrifice our unity, solidarity, or African culture for political economic expediency. Ultimately, the burden and responsibility to bring our countries and region as a whole for sustainable prosperity lies with us and nobody else. Great people of SADC. In Zimbabwe, our development philosophy is that it's better and strong. I'll translate in English. In Zimbabwe, our development philosophy is that a country is built to be governed and to be prayed for and its continuity. We say nyika inovakirwa igotonga igonamatirwa nevene vayo. Likewise, our region SADC will be modernized and industrialized by its citizens through our individual and collective efforts. Those who seek to help us are welcome. However, they must do so guided by our priorities and respecting our respective sovereignty. I therefore challenge my fellow citizens of the region to remain unapologetic and confident in who we are as a people and in our God-given abilities as a people. Through unity and hard, honest work, nothing is impossible. Your Excellencies, regrettably, the region continues to experience climate change-induced natural disasters, which have had far-reaching negative impacts on human and food security. In light of the lessons learned, investments in transformative agriculture and food systems must be scaled up. Through robust climate mitigation strategies and resilience building mechanisms, we must continually strive to be a region capable of feeding ourselves. The full operationalization of the SADC Humanitarian and Emergency Center must be given due attention. During our wars of liberation, we shared trenches and our country to dislodge the racist colonial regimes for the realization of our independence and freedom. Now, in peace and in good times, we shall continue to be one united and indivisible. In accelerating the modernization and industrialization of our country, the broadening and expansion of infrastructure, with emphasis on renewables is critically important. As developing countries, we contribute the least to global carbon emissions, and yet we are the least. In an endeavor to promote the green agenda, my government is broadening our country's energy mix. This has seen the generation of energy from waste, along with other renewable energy sources. One such facility which converts waste to energy is Geopomona Waste Management Plant. A visit to the facility has been arranged as part of our program on the 18th of August, tomorrow. Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as I assume the chairmanship of SADC, I'm aware of the historic and momentous role played by our founding fathers and their vision for a united, independent, and integrated 6-state national entity. It is indeed most opportune that this fourth Portland SADC Summit is convening a few days after we commemorated our 44th National Heroes Day on 10 August 2024 here in Zimbabwe. We remain mindful that the protracted struggle for the liberation of our beloved motherland, Zimbabwe, would have never been realized without the support of our brothers and sisters in our region, as well as other progressive countries from beyond. We are forever grateful. It is in this unquenchable spirit that Zimbabwe is pleased to invite Your Excellencies and your esteemed delegations to witness the unveiling of the SADC Liberation Square, which is located within the premises of the Museum of African Liberation. This true story of our rich liberation heritage must be preserved and told to present and future generations through our own African narratives. For a people without knowledge of their history, their origin, or their culture are like trees without roots. Earlier this year, our region was saddened by the passing on of the President of the Republic of Namibia, His Excellency Comrade Hage Geingob. He was a liberation hero, visionary statesman, and a pragmatic leader who served not only the people of Namibia, but SADC as a whole. A staunch defender of African independence, freedom and non-interference in our internal affairs, his unwavering commitment to justice, dignity, and equality will be treasured for posterity. May his soul continue to rest in eternal peace. Your Excellencies, Your Majesty, it is my humble and sincere hope that the SADC year ahead will enable us to accelerate the implementation of regional projects and programs. These include those related to cross-border energy projects, transport infrastructure development, as well as climate proofing, our agriculture, and growing our manufacturing, tourism, is among other critical sectors of our respective economies. As member states, let us double efforts through innovation to improve on our implementation scoreboard while scaling up the regional industrialization integration agenda. None of our countries must be left behind. As I conclude, may I once again express my sincere appreciation to you all for your calls for the immediate and unconditional lifting of the illegal sanctions imposed on Zimbabwe by our detractors in the West. We strongly condemn the use of sanctions and other coercive measures as a foreign political tool against developing countries. By the same token, allow me to call for the end of the conflict in Palestine and appeal for the respect of United Nations resolutions on the two-state solution. Similarly, the independence of the peoples of the Western Sahrawi is long overdue. Zimbabwe is a friend to all and an enemy to none. We firmly believe in dialogue and diplomacy as the sustainable route for the resolution of any conflict or any disputes. We thus stand ready to play our part for consolidating peace, unity, security, and stability of our SADC region. and silencing the guns on our African motherland continent. Going forward, as I humbly assume this chairmanship of our august bloc SADC, I want to assure the people of our SADC region that Zimbabwe will continue to advance the cherished founding principles, the values, the goals and objectives envisioned by the great luminaries and the founding fathers of our region. A luta continua, victory is certain. With these remarks, may I once again welcome you, Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, and distinguished guests, and wish you all a productive and fruitful summit. And stay in Zimbabwe. Long live SADC unity, long live solidarity, long live our independence and freedom, long live African unity. God bless you all. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We may take our seats. Once again, congratulations to His Excellency, Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, on the assumption of duty as chairman of SADC. I was going to say, allow me on my own behalf, on behalf of my family, to be the first one to congratulate him, but I think I'm among the top table to congratulate him. So congratulations, Mr. President. This concludes the opening session of this 44th SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government. At this juncture, I would like to make some announcements that will help us proceed to the next activities. With regards to the summit, at 2 p.m., His Majesty, distinguished heads of state and government, will proceed to a closed session in the National Assembly Hall. And they will emerge from there for a closing ceremony in the same hall at 5 p.m. From now, we will now proceed to lunch, and the first to leave the room will be His Majesty, Our Excellencies, the heads of state and government, followed by the first ladies. They will proceed to the holding room from where they will be directed to lunch. After that, they will be followed by the Honorable Vice President, Dr. C.G.D.N. Chiwenga, and Comrade Kembo Mohadi, Vice President, and the Speaker of the National Assembly, Comrade Jacob Mdenda, Speaker of Senate, Comrade Mabel Chinomona, as well as the President of the Pan-African Parliament, Chief Fortune Charumbira. We will all live in an orderly manner, just as organized as SADC is, and we will live in alphabetical order. So after the heads of state and government have left, the first ladies, our vice presidents, and the front row, we will then move country by country, starting with Angola, Botswana, Comoros, Democratic Republic of Congo, Swaziland, Lesotho, Eswatini. Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritius, Mozambique, Namibia, Seychelles, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia. Last but not least, and this is our tradition, Zimbabwe, you leave last because we are the hosts. I therefore wish to thank you for a very successful opening session. I'd like to now invite our heads to leave and thank the audiences who've been watching on social media and television for joining us live from the new Parliament building in Mount Hampton in Zimbabwe's capital city. My name is Super Collins Mandiwanzira, and my co-host has been Barbara Lopi from Zambia. We thank you.